Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Apex Podcast. I am Meredith, and I will be steering the ship today. I have my usual co-host with me today, Paul. How are you today?
Doing great. The NASCAR race was phenomenal. I can't wait to talk about it. I hope everybody is having a great weekend. Happy Sunday, everybody.
More importantly than Paul, even though we love Paul, we're so happy he's here, we have a very special guest this week. We have Alex on track joining us this week. So, Alex, how are you today?
I'm doing freaking phenomenal. Happy Sunday, everybody. Sunday fun day, so we're doing it big. NASCAR race was phenomenal. I hope everybody enjoyed it. So cheers to y'all.
Cheers. Cheers to an incredible Talladega weekend. Like, what a way to send off our Sunday into an incredible work week. I'm over the moon right now.
Alex, Meredith, and I have discussed that we have to go to Talladega one day. We have to rent an RV, and we need to go to Talladega and just live it up.
I want one of those motorized coolers. I want to do a full custom motorized cooler. And if I don't pass some people rolling around on my cooler that I'm like, hey, you want a shotgun? And they're like, yeah. Then I don't feel like I got Talladega.
Just hollering at some people off the cooler. Look, there's a lot of races on the NASCAR calendar, but Talladega is one of two that I think that people just have to experience. If you haven't experienced Talladega, you haven't experienced.
What's the other one?
The other one has to be Daytona, in my opinion.
100%.
What do you guys think?
100%.
Yeah, we're big Daytona fans. Big Daytona fan.
I would agree.
I mean, I'm basically willing to attend them all. Like, I'm not discriminating at this point. I will attend any and every NASCAR race. I'm down to go to the Poconos. Let's see what's up. Like, you never know.
For the exception of Bristol. Don't take me to Bristol. I don't want to go to Bristol.
Really? Because Bristol's like at the top for me.
And most short tracks just aren't. I feel like short tracks just aren't as fun. And then, like, the traffic, like, if I want to see traffic, I'm going to go downtown. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to go to a NASCAR race to see traffic, So, don't take me to short tracks. Super speedways and everything else, all day. Let's go.
All day. Okay.
I get that.
Well, we respect those opinions, and we're here for it. I'd love to hear more. Just like, do your little intro. Tell us about how you got into motorsports, how you got into creating content, your YouTube series. Like, we would just love to hear about the origin of Alex on Track.
Okay. So, as you guys know, my name's Alex on Track. I've been creating motorsports content for about a year. That's phenomenal. And the way it all occurred was easy. One Saturday night, I was at home, a little bit bored. It was kind of late at night, and there was nothing on TV. And I was flipping the channels, and somehow I came across F1. And it was the Australian Grand Prix last year. And I ended up sitting down watching that. And next thing you know, here we are a year later. And I've been creating content ever since. I just fell in love at first sight,
That's awesome. What made you feel like, I don't just want to watch this, like, I want to engage with this in a different way and, like, connect with other people about it? Like, was it something particular about that race, or you were just like, I gotta talk about this?
I think it was, like, a combination of things. Like, number one, like, hearing some of the stories for what was happening with some of the drivers that I knew nothing about. It was that, and then it was seeing good racing. It was raining at that race, and had your crash, like, in the first lap.
It's like trauma flashbacks.
Yeah, and the rest of it, phenomenal race. I don't know, something about it just grew equity within me, and I was like, we have to just start talking about this. And then I think it was a lot of it too. Like, no one in my friend group at that time was into motorsports. It just started turning into a thing where I was talking a lot about it to them. So I was like, hey, if there's this amount of people that don't know about it, like, maybe I can get it out to other people as well. And we've been doing it ever since.
It's interesting because you're relatively within the same age group as the rest of us are. And you just started a year ago. With all of us, it was Drive to Survive is really what got us into it. COVID was really what got us into it when we were stuck home. And with you, it was like a year ago is what got you into it. So it's just interesting to see someone else's perspective that just got into it so recent.
I also love that you're debunking the myth that you have to be a lifelong fan to, like, be worthy of being in this space. I think there are so many people in the motorsport space that are like, well, if you're not a lifer, then you're not a real fan. And I think that, like, all of us here prove that you can get into motorsport at any given time and jump right into loving it and be a huge fan and be knowledgeable about it. And, like, you deserve to be in the space. I think that's like something I come up against all the time. They're like, well, how long have you been following? Well, I've watched my entire life. And I'm like, a couple of years and I love it. And I have people who just got into it a month ago, a year ago, and love it just as much. And that doesn't make them any less of a fan. And in fact, it like makes me feel even more connected when they're like a newer fan like we all are. Those lungs are getting you, man.
He is struggling
Yeah, I
with
was
it
gonna say,
today.
let me go get a cough drop because I'm acting up. So I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Let me go
No,
get
do your
one.
thing. And I think those gatekeepers really need to shut up because you can be a fan, watching today's NASCAR race and falling into it and just want to talk about it and
Right?
record yourself
Imagine
doing
if
it.
Talladega 2026 was the first race you ever watched. I'd be like, I'm sold on NASCAR. And in fact, like, I feel like this is a pivotal moment in how I get other people into NASCAR because so many people just like have a bias about NASCAR because they think it's a lower grade series or whatever as compared to those that like Formula One. And I feel like today's race at Talladega is a really great example to show like how competitive it is, how anything can change in an instant, and how, I mean, like you and I talked about it, like had things not happened the way they did, Carson Hocevar might have not have got his first win. So it's kind of
And
like,
and
it's
I
this is what they should watch.
and I was that guy that, oh, NASCAR is stupid. It's just 30 cars going around in a circle. There's nothing behind it. It's not fun. But when you like really watch it, when you sit down, the strategy behind it, the figuring out when to pit, the getting the fuel, the throttle. I mean, there's so much behind it that just keeps you engaged and keeps you wanting to keep watching. And I really like that they've broken it up into stages, so it's a little more digestible of a watch because
I love the stages.
it does get really long. It's a 3 hour marathon to sit there, 4 hours, and yeah. So, but it is digestible, and if you can just break it up into small pieces and focus on one thing, it really does make things easier.
I agree. And I think that, because I am a newer fan to NASCAR and like this is just what I know, like I love it. I love the stage format. I love having the competition to win stage points, how close it gets right there at the end. It's like you almost get three pushes for a race within one race. So I feel like the value for what I get in my time spent watching a race is worth so much with a NASCAR race. And then, like, even following the other series in the NASCAR series, whether it's Xfinity, ARCA, Truck Series, like, there's just some other really cool racing going on within NASCAR that I've like really grown to love and appreciate, and doesn't diminish my love for F1 or IndyCar or WEC at all. But I just feel like there's something in me that just really, really loves and enjoys NASCAR.
And I think for me too, the personalities behind it really, really gravitate you to it because Carson Hocevar is very outspoken and he's very much like, I'm not here to make friends, I'm here to drive. And I'm not trying to say F1 doesn't quite have that, but all those F1 drivers are very polished in the way they
They're
talk.
very buttoned up.
Yeah, very, as to where NASCAR is just unhinged. You'll see them throwing hands on pit lane, and it's so cool to watch that.
I think that's what I appreciate though. Like it's just real.
It's
Like
raw.
NASCAR is real, raw, unpolished, unedited, true motorsport, and I love it. And I love that the commentators today brought up the comment that other guy made that motorsports drivers aren't real athletes this week. I was like,
Hey, Stephen A. Smith, right here, buddy. Stephen A. Smith, here you go, bud. But
respectfully,
Alex,
respectfully.
the big thing that I want to ask. So you've been watching this for, can we say, a calendar year?
Yeah, at least maybe like a year and a couple months. Yeah. So
Okay.
what's up? What you got?
You have favorite team, favorite driver in F1?
Oh yeah, yeah. As you can tell by my background, I'm very heavily influenced by Red Bull, and that's across that's across several motor series. So for supercars, same thing. I love the Red Bull cars. For NASCAR, Team Trackhouse, and obviously for F1, Red Bull and Max Verstappen. Like, how do you not just love Verstappen,
That's
right?
a dumb answer. God, I hate you.
No, Paul opened a can of worms.
Paul, you might even agree with this part. So I feel like Max has made a career out of being a heel and being a bad guy.
Yes, I literally said that last week, Alex. I agree.
Yeah, and for some reason, everybody's seeing his struggles last season. Seeing what the team went through, seeing what Max went through, being down over 100 points. Kimmy crashing him out early in the season, and then him trying to make this miraculous comeback. People love a Cinderella story, and it's hard to say that when you have 4 world titles. However, I think the story was just kind of going there, and people always say America loves drama. Well, I think the world loves drama.
I
Mm.
also think that part of what aided his comeback story last year was also the everybody getting to see the real human tangible side of him. Like he has been a father figure to Penelope for all these years, but then for him to have a baby right before Miami last year, like literally a year ago this weekend, he was getting ready to have his own first child. And I think people getting to see that side of him, other than the villain narrative that he played into, I think that really put the humanization to him. And I think it allowed people to see him as like, he is a real person too. Like he is more than just an incredible driver. He's an incredible person too. And then all of a sudden it's like all the narratives changed from like used to be everybody like, oh, everybody hates Max except Danny, blah, blah, blah. And now all of a sudden it's like, no, Max has always been the one that's taken all the rookies under his wings. He checks on them. He makes sure they're okay. You look at every one of the F1 drivers, the events, he's always making sure the rookies are taken care of. He's very close friends with all of them. So I think it was more than just the driving behavior last year that got people to buy back into Max Verstappen. It was the whole personal life too that just completely evolved for him.
I could not agree more with you. I think it just painted a more wholesome picture, and people had this idea of him just being this rough around the edges guy that just
Like a
happens
mini
to
Joe.
cut people off in the middle of the apex, right? And it turns out that I don't think that's always the case, you know?
Well, I'm now eating my words because I have felt that way about Liam Lawson too. I felt like I've called him Dennis the Menace. And now I'm like eating my words because I met somebody and their son met him and said he was the kindest, nicest guy on the planet. I'm like, well, fuck, come on.
Well,
I really wanted to hate him.
especially because we're such huge fans of Checo, and there's been bad blood between the both of them. So it's like you have
You
to.
are a huge fan of Checo. I respect Checo. There is a firm difference. You are a huge fan of Checo. I respect Checo. I've been able to distinguish and discern that my dislike of Checo was actually really about me just missing Danny and Max being together. It's taken time, it's taken reflection. I have grown, but it was never about Checo. It was just about me missing Danny and Max being together.
So, Alex, we know Formula One and NASCAR. Do you follow IndyCar and other series?
I follow supercars, not IndyCar as much. Supercars, I feel like the racing is just freaking phenomenal. So I watch
What's
a lot of supercars, and that's the old
for
Australian V8 supercar series. You guys familiar?
no?
No.
Oh my goodness, you guys are missing out. So it's pretty much just Mustangs, Camaros, and Supras, and they're just big V8s that race really fast. And some of the tracks over in Australia and New Zealand are ridiculous. Like there's this one called, and I might murder the name here, but it's called Bartworth. I think it's I might be messing up.
Feels right.
Yeah,
Feels right to me.
but they're racing up and down the mountain. I mean, it's phenomenal racing, and all the big names are in there as far as like sponsors. Monster, Red Bull. I mean, they're all there, and they produce talent. So like SVG from NASCAR came over from Supercars.
Oh, I didn't realize that. That's awesome. I'm a huge SVG fan here. Road Course King.
Yeah, I'm a big SVG guy myself.
And Paul's over here Googling supercar racing. He's like, I've got to start
100%
with all your spare time. With all your spare time.
with
Yeah.
all my spare time.
Like I always joke, like my mom was like trying to get me to watch NHRA drag, and she's super into drag racing, and I'm like, Mom, I have such limited time that I can't take on a whole nother motorsport right now. I can't do it. But then I hear about racing series like supercar racing, and it's like I just love consuming every ounce of it. It's like I was just reading a magazine during stage 2 of the NASCAR race, and I literally saw a statistic that said those that have hobbies they invest in and spend time like procuring knowledge, participating in, being a fan of whatever, live on average 4 to 7 years longer. So I like to think that all this love of motorsport we have is just really counterbalancing the drinking and extending our life, okay?
We're gonna live forever.
Yeah, with the amount of laughing and the amount of motorsport stuff that we do, 100% will live forever. I mean, it's science.
Unless you're a Ferrari fan, and then it's taking years off your life.
I feel like I should really start wearing my Apple Watch when I watch races, go to races, stuff like that, because I'm sure my heart rate would make it look like I'm doing like an F45 class or something. Like I was just pounding the island, screaming like the last lap of the NASCAR race. I'm like jumping up and down in my kitchen, like losing it. So, we could call it fitness. we could collectively as a group decide that our motorsport investment and excitement is fit.
Right,
Y'all
right.
don't seem
Plus,
to
I
be
feel like
supporting it.
Ferrari fans kind of know what they're getting themselves into because we always talk about like red flags in people, right? Well, Ferrari's color's red, right? I mean, if there's not a bigger red flag, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. The only thing that I know is that everybody that I know that's a Ferrari fan happens to be amazing people.
Yeah, good save there. Good save there, Alex.
Unlike McLaren fans. So don't get me started on those.
Well, tough titties, because I'm Ferrari and McLaren. I'm your worst nightmare, Alex. I am your worst nightmare. I am diehard McLaren and Ferrari. So it's
No, I'm just joking. I'm pretty sure I came across one of your videos where you were decked out in McLaren gear. So I'm just joking. And I think you might have been in the video where Leah was showing me where she told Zach Brown, "Have a good day."
literally like she was so cool, calm, and collected. And I'm like, there's flight fighter freeze. Well, I've found out I am freeze because in those moments I'm all like he walked by me and I was like, Leah's videoing and I'm like, hey, I'm like, I couldn't do anything. And she's all, have a good day. And I'm all,
Yeah, why didn't you ask for a picture? That would have been a perfect time to be like, hey, can we get a picture?
again, I went to the back of the brain. My reptilian brain said, freeze, stay put. You are not cool, calm, and collected like you think you are. So it was not time. Plus, remember, McLaren was running late to the grid. That's my excuse. I'll die on.
Well, look, either way, at least you got to, be in front of him for a little bit and kind of, tell him to have a good day. I think if given the opportunity to tell him anything, I would have been like, yo, tell me about these papaya rules. What are they exactly? Break it down for me.
Yeah, I would love
He doesn't
to
even know
have the
what they are.
wherewithal to have that conversation. I've just learned it's not me. I'm not that girl. I'm a content creator on like the back of the house side of stuff. Like I could like when I watch these content creators that go do like race days and stuff like that and interact with drivers, I'm sure maybe you like eventually just like toughen up your skin and level up to it. It's not me. The weekend I decided I wanted to start creating content was I went to WEC at Coda. And it was the Lone Star Le Mans, and I thought I was ready for it. I was cool, calm, and collected. My friend Gary went with me because my husband was out of town. I like walked down to do the driver meet and greet stuff because we bought like the Spirit Club, which is like the paddock pass of WEC, the WEC. And I walked down, I turn, and I'm like talking to Gary, telling him all the people I want to go see and meet and the autographs I want to get. And the first person I see 10 feet from me is Nick DeVries. We make direct eye contact. I panic, I freeze, I yell howdy and go like this. I literally have a video of me going howdy and like this, and Nick is just looking at me like, and I have an image of him being like, and I'm like, nope, turn this ship around. We're not going, turn it around. We're going to try this in a minute. Did I go back by that table? Absolutely not. We turned around, came back down, restarted, skipped that table real quick. So it's not me.
So that was it for you then.
That's
so
it.
Embarrassing.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm not cool. I know it. I'm okay with it.
Yeah. That's a nice thing about IndyCar too. I went to my first one last year in Nashville. All the drivers were super approachable and super nice. Like I walked up to numerous of them and asked for pictures, and none of them gave me a hard time about it, and it was super cool. They even had a little chit chat with Pato. It was super cool.
Didn't
I
give
think
him a
that's one of the
sticker.
things that would get me into it is just the accessibility to
Yes.
the,
For
the,
I will tell you,
Mind blowing.
I will tell you,
Mind.
I got into IndyCar a few years ago, and I had the opportunity to go to Nashville last year with my brother. For the price and the access that IndyCar gives you was astonishing. I mean, I can send you pictures. I was within an arm's length of the vehicles. I was within arm's length of the garages. You can go up to the mechanics and ask questions. Nobody made you feel, as long as you were within the lines and you didn't overstep your boundaries, nobody made you feel dumb or anything. It was super, just the access that you get was really made me a much bigger fan because we went to F1 in Austin and you don't get quite near the access
no.
that you do in IndyCar. And that's just why I love IndyCar a lot more.
Right. But I feel like, across the sports, you go to an MLB game and then you go to, your local AAA affiliate. I mean, it's night and day, right? It's completely different. And that's kind of the same thing with IndyCar, except that, IndyCar probably doesn't appreciate being called a AAA affiliate, right? Because they're their own brand and their own thing. So, shout out to IndyCar. You guys are not AAA affiliates. But I'm just saying there, there's a big gap there, right? So, but either way, some of the racing that I saw for IndyCar that I've seen this year, because this is my first year watching IndyCar, it's been freaking great. And I love I love the windshields. I'm a fan of the windshield.
I think it makes a huge difference too. I also just feel like there's something about the way that the cars are designed that makes me feel like it's safer than an F1 car. Like, I don't know. I mean, like, I've seen a lot of F1 crashes, and I've seen some insanely horrific Indy car crashes that if that was an F1 car, that driver would not have survived. Like, the one that comes to mind is the Colton Herta crash from last season. Paul, you know which one I'm talking about, where he just flipped and flipped and flipped. And I was like, if that was an F1 car, that driver would not have survived. Like, at all. No bones about it. I mean, I just think that there are so many things that IndyCar does from a safety perspective. And we talked about it a lot last season. The IndyCar safety response team and the way they handle crashes and that kind of stuff is just next level, bar none. And I think it makes drivers feel more secure. The way the car is developed and designed is with safety in mind. Not that F1 is not, but I just think there is a particular focus on it with IndyCar that makes the drivers feel a lot more secure.
So, Alex, what's the first F1 track that you want to attend to?
Being that I'm in Corpus, I think it has to be Coda. It has to be Coda.
It has.
I was in Vegas a few years ago whenever they had the Vegas Grand Prix, the first one. I happened to be there for an MMA event. One of the UFC events was there. And I was covering the UFC as a media member then. I was a credentialed media member for the UFC. So I remember just walking around and everybody, they weren't talking UFC. Everybody was talking F1. That was a big thing then. You know, the amount of pop-ups then wasn't the amount of pop-ups they have now, but even, I mean, the whole town was buzzing. I mean, it made such a huge difference. I should have probably gotten into it then, but my mind was so preoccupied that I didn't think about it. But I think if I have to pick which one I would do first, it has to be Coda.
It has to be. I will say,
let's remove feasibility from it. Like, being a Texas girl, love Coda, go every year, every race I can at Coda I go to. Let's remove accessibility, feasibility. If money was no issue, travel schedules, none of that was an issue, what would be your dream track to go to?
Monaco all day. I know that from a racing perspective, people are going to be like, well, it's not the most action-packed. Well, for sure, there's no overtakes. For sure, it's no over. But how do you deny experiencing Monaco? I mean, they've been doing F1 there for so long. All the drivers live there. I mean, what an experience it is. I just hope I can get on Conor McGregor's yacht and party with him for a little bit.
Right, that'd be amazing. My husband and I, we went last year. My sister got married in Italy, and we went to Monaco after. So we went and stayed in the south of France. We stayed over in Nice, and we took the train over. There was this like little local winery called Le Truc. Dive wine bar. This guy has a dive wine bar called Le Truc. If you're ever in Nice, go to Le Truc, naming it now. He was awesome. He gave us all these recommendations, and we were telling him we wanted to go over to Monaco for the day. And he was like, oh, absolutely, go do and see it. This is the time of year to go do and see it. He said, but don't go today or tomorrow. He said, you need to go the next day because it's the annual yacht show right now. So it's going to be so busy. So we were like, okay. So we waited 2 days, took the train over. We get there, all the yachts are still in the port. They're breaking down all like the VIP tents and stuff. The F1 drivers were all on a break that weekend, so they were all at the event and stuff. But getting to see Monaco, and like, we walked the whole track, saw the whole town. It was amazing. I'm so glad we did it because Monaco was awesome. Expensive as hell. Not as expensive as Switzerland though. So people need to back out about Monaco costing a ton because Switzerland's way more. But I'm so glad we did it because we got to see the track, walk the track. We did the automobile museum, the Princess Car Collection, which was so dope. Get to see all those cars. But I actually, after going and seeing Monaco and seeing how tiny it is, that is actually what made me realize I would not want to spend my money to go to a Monaco race weekend. It's fun to see Monaco. When you are there, you realize how small it actually is. There ain't nowhere to go. It's that. So if you go and do decide ever, I'll give you a place to stay in Nice, and then you can just take the train over with everybody else. But Monaco's beautiful.
Paul, what about you?
If money was no option, it's two for me: Japan and Mexico.
Both on my top 3 list right now.
I think
we're trying to get
and Mexico will forever have a special place in my heart. But I saw a few of the videos of how they do their like general admission tickets and how they do like where you sit it at. And I guess there's like 4 different sections, and whatever section you're in, you have to stay in that section. There's no wandering around and going places.
So that's a race where you got to do a grandstand instead of a general admission.
Right. You would have to do a fairly decent ticket if you want to have a good experience, because the GA there is no GA. It's like a sectional GA, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still want to do it. I actually feel like I would really like to do Mexico City for the Formula E race, because getting to see the track, getting to see the cars on track, I feel like a lot of the Formula E driving mechanisms is maybe where Formula One potentially could be headed in terms of driver control over the mechanisms that they can enable and when they do. I would like to see Formula E in Mexico City. Like, that's on my bucket list. I don't know about Formula One because I feel like that'd be too crazy, and I love Mexico City. So I feel like I've only had Mexico City on a chill weekend, and I feel like I need to recreate another chill weekend and add in a motorsport. So I feel like Formula E is my choice, or NASCAR.
So you mentioned Mexico City, right? So number one, let me just say this, and this is going to be super stereotypical, but my last name's Juarez, so take it for what it is, right? But number one,
that's awesome.
Yeah, number one, best street food you can get anywhere on the planet.
Couldn't compare anywhere else.
No, I'll die on that hill all day. Best street food you can get there. So having said that, you talked a little bit about Formula E. Have you seen the new Formula E cars that they dropped a few days ago? Did you guys see that?
For 27?
The 4th edition car is fucking sick.
Badass motherfuckers.
Fucking sick.
Why didn't they do this like 2 generations ago? That's the only thing they were lacking, was like a decent looking car.
I'm aggressively invested in that car and it needing to be great. Sorry, guys, my dogs are barking, so I wanted to ring the doorbell.
All right.
Stranger danger is real. I'm like, who brings the doorbell?
I know. I'll be in Mexico City in 2 weeks, and I can't wait.
I'm
going.
Go get your cholesterol checked already. Get a base marker for it now, and then go.
What are you going for, Paul?
My family lives in Mexico City, so I'm visiting family. I'm going the 14th through the 18th.
Wait, I don't know why I thought y'all were doing a resort. I thought y'all were doing like resort.
We usually do a resort once a year, but they wanted to switch it up, and my parents wanted to go visit family.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
So we're going to Mexico City, like actual Mexico City. And I
love it. Oh, I'm so jealous.
I have to jump on. I'm jealous as well, dude.
Yeah, we're packing our bags. We're joining.
I haven't been there since I was like 15. And my memories of Mexico City was just like the food. It's just phenomenal food. It didn't matter what I ate. It was great. Mind blowing.
Listen, my family knows that I have a podcast, and they're like, if you ever want to come watch a race, you have a place to stay. We'll drive you around. You're good. Just show up.
We're about to tap into that.
Done.
Why have you not made this connection for us before, Paul?
No, because we haven't really talked about taking a trip anywhere. But yeah, if we ever want to go to Mexico City as a whole.
We haven't talked about taking a trip anywhere. That's all I ever talk about, Paul. That's all I ever do is plan travel.
Fine. Meredith and Alex, we can take a trip to Mexico City.
It's that fun anti-life. Where's she going next?
And the micheladas they have over there are much better.
They absolutely are.
So, Alex, let's get into the meat and potatoes of what I really want to ask you. And I know we talked about pre-show that we were going to talk NASCAR first and then Formula One, but fuck it. We have ADHD here. We forget what we were talking about.
Dude, I had a cough fit earlier, so yeah, dude. I mean, shout out to fucking Ricolas. If it wasn't for that, I'd be in trouble. Yeah, let's fucking do it. So yeah, let's get into whatever you want.
Today's episode brought to you by Ricola. So
shout out to Ricola.
New regulations. Thoughts.
New regulations are so difficult to talk about because I feel like they're all over the place. So let me kind of say my piece first. There's a lot of purists out there. They're going to go, well, the new regulations, they're just they're just a lot about batteries, and you got to regenerate batteries. And I feel that. The 50-50 split is not working, in my opinion. I feel like something has to be done about that to make them a little bit, and I know 50-50 is balanced, but what I mean by balance is make it just more like pure racing versus having to recharge in a corner, right? That being said, the amount of overtakes we've seen this year have been phenomenal. I know some of them are yo-yo overtakes, and I know that they may not be perfect, but the amount of overtakes is still there, and I'm for it. So I don't want to see a race where no one's doing anything. The way that they qualified is the way they finish. I want to see some overtakes. So I guess to sum up what my opinions are on these new regulations is I'm still out to judge. I don't know. I'm not sold. I'm also ain't buying. I'm somewhere in the middle. I'm sitting on the fence, if you will. What about you guys?
Meredith?
I almost feel the exact same. Like, I absolutely love the competitive on-track racing we've had this season. This season has been my most fun that I've had since I started watching 6 years ago, and I don't want to change any bit of that except for the safety aspect of it. When there are mechanisms outside of the driver's control in their car that creates an unsafe environment. And I think when drivers are realizing I have to floor it as fast as I can down the straight, and then I have to slam on the brakes really hard, because if I slam on the brakes really hard and if I come in super fast, it's going to recharge my battery faster. And then I'm going to be able to come out of that turn with more energy. That's not safe. So I feel like there has to be a happy medium. I feel like we are moving in the right direction. Paul and I talked a little bit about it last week, that I think that step changes in the regulations. Like, this is a massive step change. The first one was, and then, they're going to make some accommodations. They're probably going to make some more throughout the season. But I feel like a year from now, we're going to be in a completely different place of cars, where they're really safe. Drivers are used to the regulations, and we have really, really, really competitive on-track racing. So I know we're going to get there. So I'm kind of just like, I've been more thrilled with the quality of racing in the last 4 months than I have been in the last 6 years. So that's my thoughts. Paul, what about you?
I'd have to agree with the both of you. I like that we're getting more overtakes. It's what we've been yelling for the last few years, because it seemed like the most exciting part of a few years ago was qualifying. The way you qualified is the way you finished. And now these days, it's kind of switching things up a bit. But now it seems, and like Meredith said, we talked about it last episode, it just seems artificial to me. It seems like I don't last week they came out with the new rules that they changed, and it seems like I need an engineering degree to understand what's going on. And I don't like that. Like, what the fuck's a KUGHWXYZ? I don't know. And I don't understand it. And they can put it in English, and I still have no
That's what we
clue
have Josh for.
I know, but I am, yes, Josh is a lot more analytical than I am. But the average Joe, the average fan that just tunes in on Sundays will have no fucking idea what's going on. And it makes it hard to kind of understand. Look at NASCAR. It's horsepower, it's tires, it's fuel. Same thing with IndyCar. I mean, yes, IndyCar has that hybrid battery, but it's super easy to understand. You push a button to go a little faster for 89 seconds or however long they give you. And for F1, it just seems way too artificial. But I also am enjoying the on track action. So I hope they can figure it out. And I don't know. I'm hopeful, but also somewhat skeptical at the same time.
Have you guys ever seen that meme of Snoop Dogg where he goes, this mother effer don't miss? You ever seen that meme?
I have not.
Well, you need to look it up. It's a phenomenal
I've seen a lot of Snoop memes, just not that one.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal meme. But I ask you guys that because he references people that don't miss. Well, I feel like when you're an innovator and you're the pinnacle of motorsports, sometimes you're going to miss. You're not always going to hit. You're not always going to bat 100, if you will. So there's a lot of stuff that they innovate that makes it down to production vehicles, things like the paddle shifters, hybrids, all that stuff. So I feel like that trickles down into production vehicles. And this might have been one of those things where they were trying to, figure something out, maybe like a plug-in 50-50 hybrid or do something. But, Snoop Dogg would not say that they don't miss, because I feel like they missed on that one, right?
Yeah.
But again,
I feel like they're too aggressive of a step change because they're trying to be, carbon neutral by 2030. So I feel like this was their opportunity to take a giant leap, get teams on board, and know that they're going to have to make some accommodations before there's another step change up to be able to, not carbon neutral, net zero. For them to be net zero by 2030 was an aggressive, bold ambition. And I feel like they knew they had to take a massive step change with this first one. And then they're going to have to do some, like what they're doing now for Miami throughout the season. I feel like I'm right there with you, Alex. Like they miss, they're going to peel it back a little, and then little by little they're gonna get there over the next 2 years. Hi, buddy.
Yeah, and let me just say this: like, I love the Dolphins as much as anybody, right? So shout out to Gerald. I see you, big dog, right? But I feel like it's one of those things. Like, why is F1 trying to be carbon neutral by 2030? Like, in what sense? Like, I feel like if they really cared and they really wanted to do good in the world and save the dolphins and save the turtles and all that, there's so many surrounding things that they could do with all the manufacturing that they're doing that would help alleviate some of that versus impacting the racing that we get on the track. Ultimately, they're an entertainment company, and by putting out a bad product, they're hurting themselves a little bit, right? And again, I'm not sure if it's a bad product quite yet. We're 4 races in, but it's looking like it's a bad
We're
product.
4 races in, have already missed 50% of the seasonal races.
Yeah.
At that is low, to keep with the baseball theme.
Right. To keep with batting at 100, right? To keep it there. Yeah. I mean, it is bad. It is bad.
I do think it gives us a really big opportunity, though, to continue seeing how it goes the rest of the season. We had our little F1 spring break. We're going to have an F1 summer break. So I think we're going to continue to see the drivers give feedback, be very vocal, and I think we'll see it get there. I think with me being 6 years into being a fan, and this being the most exciting racing I've seen, it's not all bad, right? So I know they'll get there. It's just going to take a lot of feedback and communication. I'm really glad, really, really, really glad that we have Carlos Sainz and George doing the Grand Prix Drivers Association to really provide an avenue to give structured feedback in an aligned, formatic way. Where before last year, that just didn't really exist. It was let us all give you your feedback. Well, now I think more than ever, the GPDA is going to have an opportunity to give aligned feedback in a structured way that maybe it will be heard. And I feel like maybe the amount of voices that were raised early on in the season is the reason we got these changes for Miami. So I'm hopeful, cautiously optimistic.
If we know anything, we know that Karen George is going to make his opinion heard. That's what we've labeled George Russell.
A Karen will Karen when they need to Karen,
I mean, I'm with everybody online. I call him a diva because he is a diva, right? But
he makes it so hard to like him. I don't understand. Like, why does he have to be such a whiny little baby all the time?
It's an acquired taste. That's just who he is, like.
And I guess you could say the same about Max 4 years ago. It made it hard to like him, but I don't know.
Dude, you could say the same about almost everybody. Like I was watching some stuff about, because obviously we have the Miami Grand Prix this time next week. So I was watching some stuff from last year's race and just doing my homework, right? Just trying to kind of absorb as much as I can. And I was seeing some of the stuff about Yuki. And I mean, dude, you want to talk about him, or drivers that are crybabies and stuff. I mean, Yuki needed, a pebble to go wrong in his way for him to just go off on the race.
You better watch out. You better watch out. I'll fight you over Yuki.
For no reason. He was just crashing out. Well, hey, don't get me wrong. I love Yuki. I got his car right here. I love Yuki. So, but...
Paul has a cat named Yuki.
I have a cat named Yuki. I mean, it's my brother's cat, but hey, he's named Yuki.
Well, I mean, did the cat lose his place at your brother's house? That's why you have him now? Is that what happened?
No.
He got demoted.
My dog wants so badly to be seen right now. So everybody say hi to Bear.
Hi, puppy.
Hey, buddy.
He's literally just like this 13-year-old man just like sitting here begging for attention. I'm like, dude, you're 13. Go lay down.
Does he want a Ricola? I'll throw one his way.
He might want a Ricola. I mean, I don't disagree about Yuki. And to me, like we talked about this last season, Yuki was making such aggressive moves in an attempt to save his career. And like they were not smart moves and they didn't pay off. And Yuki was not at the level of driving to be able to make those moves. And then we saw the seat change happen. We saw everything happen. And then Liam was then doing what Yuki was doing before. And I'm like, can you two not learn? Like, Yuki could have had the world, and I hope he still has an opportunity. I have a lot of firm beliefs about Yuki's relationship with Honda and the potential for Yuki with Aston Martin in the future. I'm saying it. I firmly believe in it. But I agree. Just like the way he was driving last season was driving scared for a seat, and he knew it. And it's such a bummer.
I agree with you. Like, he definitely was trying, but I don't know if he was trying in the right way.
No, definitely not trying in the right way.
And all I mean by that, like, as a perfect example, is if you watch the last race of the year, Lando's a few seconds behind. There's like, I want to say it's like 15 laps left. And they're like, Yuki, we expect Lando to catch you in about a lap. So just, FYI, be ready and pull a check on us, right? Defend as good as you can and go
I know
from
where
there.
this is going. Yeah, we remember that one.
And he goes, I know what to do. Leave it to me. I know what to do. Leave it to me. So if Yuki was the aggressive driver that we're saying he is, he would have done something. It was like, I mean, Lando was like, just what? Hey, what happened? I mean, that was it, and we're just left like, that was what you meant by leave it to me. I got this,
Well, he almost tried to run him off the track. If you remember,
My God.
Lando did have to go in the grass a smidge.
Yeah, and he was penalized 5 seconds for a double move, right? So, but again, like, I know that Yuki was on older tires. I know Lando was on fresher tires. Lando had a rocket ship. Yuki had the second Red Bull car. So I understand all that. But all I'm trying to say, like, dude, you had at least a lap's notice. Like, you should have been closer to that corner before Lando caught up to you. Or at least had an idea that, hey, this guy's driving a freaking rocket ship, I don't know how I'm going to defend, but figure something out. Like, I don't know.
A
If it was
little,
me and my
you know,
teammate could have won. I mean, dude, I'm pulling an F1 movie and just crashing into that guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm just taking him out. You know.
especially when the world championship is on the line. Like,
That's what I'm saying.
Could you imagine the media storm that would hail on Yuki if he would have done that?
But I mean, it's on brand.
if he would have taken one for the team, things might have been different.
He would have had a contract this year. That's all I know. That's all I know. He would have had a contract this year.
And that's on Yuki.
Shout out to Yuki the cat. I see you over there, big dog.
Okay.
The Modelo's kicked in. This dude is off the hinges.
I love it.
Hey,
Okay,
this is what you get, brother. This is it right here.
Hey, since we're on F1, let's just keep rolling. Let's keep rolling. We can end this with Talladega, which
Whoa.
will be a phenomenal end. But let's keep talking F1. Are there any other races that like stand out for you from last season that you're like, this was an iconic one for me, something that really stood out for me? Because like Vegas for me changed the game. Had McLaren not double DNF because of that plank, like we wouldn't even be talking about that final race of the season. So were there any other moments from last season that stood out to you that were like, this is a call out moment for me that like made me super excited or super invested?
Yeah, off the top of my head, I don't know. I mean, as a fan, like someone who just, if we're talking like outsiders looking in, I think you have to mention Brazil. As we know, Max always is phenomenal at Brazil, so we have to mention Brazil.
We love Brazil.
Baku, I feel like, was phenomenal because it was just, pure cinema. Like, lap 1, turn 3, and Oscar just goes straight into the middle of a corner.
And then just sits there. And then just sits there the rest of the race, just gets behind it, props his feet up, and just watches the race. Cinema.
Yeah, so, like, Baku for sure has to be one of them. And then Coda, Max just masterclass, that picture of the RB21 or RB22 coming over the corner and the Texas flag in the background, right? So being, a Texan, that holds a special place in my heart. So I think
I can't wait to show you that place on track, Alex. I can't wait to show you that place on track.
As somebody that was there for the first time last year, that is iconic. That is a giant flag. And you don't appreciate it on TV until you're seeing it in person. And you're like, dude, that thing is ginormous.
Let me pull up the archives. I have a picture of us with that in the background.
Yeah, let me see that.
October. Here we go. Some of these don't even need to see the light of day. Paul. Yeah, some of these.
The ones that you think don't need to see the light of day, those are the best ones.
Those need to see the light of day.
So it looks like it's right behind us. We're a couple 100 yards away. Like the thing is massive. That flag, the scale of that giant flag, it's hard to describe. But here it is with us standing right there in the main grandstands. Here is that flag all the way over there. And that's how big that flag is.
How phenomenal.
Yeah. I mean,
dude,
it's just a time.
If you get a chance this year, you should go.
Come, join us.
It's iconic.
Oh, I will forewarn you.
I made it to last year, so I'm gonna make it to this year for sure.
I will forewarn you. I'm gonna make you shotgun.
Let's do it.
And not one, but many.
Let's do it. I'm super down.
Excellent. All right. He's passed the test. We can continue this episode. Because Paul's not coming to Coda this year. He's been non-committal about Coda. I was like,
how come? What's going on?
I got some plans in the works.
He's got big things in the works.
Some big life decisions that are coming my way.
Got big things in the works. So I get it.
Or what?
I'm never moving to Texas. I can't. Never. No.
You ain't cut out for this, Alex.
Bro, I can't do the heat, man. Y'all's heat down there is another. It's special.
Yeah.
Well,
the heat over here is crazy.
If I'm gonna leave Tennessee, I need to go back up north where I get 4 seasons.
How far?
Gosh, we get 4 seasons. We may just only get like 1 day of the 4 seasons.
Go
Badgers!
Originally, I'm from Wisconsin. But
Go Badgers!
I don't know if I would ever go back to Wisconsin, but
He didn't go to the University of Wisconsin, but he got a University of Wisconsin tattoo.
So, Alex, when do you want to start this new podcast? Because my co-host is fucking awful.
Whenever you want, brother. I'm game. Whenever you want.
Because I can't stand this white girl.
Shut up. You love it, Paul. I want you to remember you reached out to me, Paul. And this is actually our 1 year anniversary of me joining the Apex. So you're welcome. You're welcome.
Cheers.
So
Cheers to that.
F1 races, I will tell you in terms of like experiences of going to an F1 race, COTA is, I mean, obviously I have a loyalty being from Texas, but I've been to a lot of F1 races now. Like this is what I spend all my spare money and time on. And COTA is top of the top. Like I love it. It's incredible. So absolutely a good one. I will say though, last year we went to Miami for the first time. I had such low expectations. I wanted to hate it so much. I wanted to hate Miami so much. We didn't stay in Miami. We stayed in a little suburb of Miami, which I love. I'm not a Miami girl, so I thought it was fantastic the way we did it. We rented an Airbnb that had a pool. It was like 15 minutes from the track. We bought a parking pass. I loved the way we did Miami because we were able to go and opt into the stuff at the track, but not have to do like the Miami nightlife stuff. Like I'm not a nightclub girl anymore. I can't.
You're in Miami, you know, on a weekend freed up, and you don't do any Miami nightlife on an F1 weekend.
Zero. And it was
My
pure
goodness.
pool.
Did you guys end up in a library the next day? I mean, what?
No, I was at home in my pool. So the best thing was that like transportation, no matter whether you had the parking pass or you did the ride share or you did the buses or the bright line, like 20 minutes and you're back at your place. And I was like, this is the best. And like I'm a suburb.
Right. But I want you to realize something. You know, you may not like bars, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know,
I love bars.
I don't like
I love
bars. And you
bars.
may not like clubs, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, it's not for everybody. But this is your opportunity to see Lando out in the wild, just getting his white girl down.
Okay, but no, let's clarify.
Rubbing on dudes.
Let's clarify. They're not doing that the weekend of. They're doing that after. And let's also clarify that the race last year was on May 4th, which meant Monday was Cinco de Mayo. So we stayed Monday and then flew out Tuesday. So Monday, my husband and I started our morning off lovely. We got up early, drove out with my dad and stepmom, who my dad's the one who got me into F1. And so we go to a lot of races with them. We got up, we drove out to the Keys. We had breakfast in the Keys. We saw the beaches. It was so beautiful. We drive back and I find out that my uncle and my Aunt Mindy, my Uncle Russ and my Aunt Mindy had just come back from a cruise and are on South Beach. So we drop off my parents at the Airbnb. They were like, we're just going to chill here. I was like, cool, well, we're going to go to South Beach. So my husband and I go meet them on South Beach and hang out with them on South Beach for a few hours on Cinco de Mayo. And that was an absolute blast. I am a dartier. Give me a day party all day. I'll darty all day. I'm just not a nightclub. I want to be at home in bed by 10 or 11, and I'm okay with that. And if it means not running into Lando, I'm cool with that because I've already learned this about myself. I'm not good when I see them. I'm all. I don't need to be seen.
You're howdy.
I don't need to be seen vodka, $28 vodka soda in hand with a, you know, it's not for me.
Hey, the fact that was your like reflex though means that somewhere along the line of your life, this worked out for you in one way or another, because that's the reason why it's a reflex. Yeah,
maybe it's also the like I went to A&M and it's the most Aggie thing I've ever done is saying howdy. I've never used howdy in my everyday vernacular ever. I'm a Texan and I was like,
I use it all the time. But you know, because we're proper Longhorns over here. We don't do none of that gig'em stuff. You know,
and that's how I know you didn't go to UT because you're a diehard Longhorn.
All right, let's get back to Miami.
I went to McCombs, so can you call that UT?
Yeah, you did. Well, we give that. Okay, so Miami, incredible. I still would put Miami in my top race vibe experiences of all the tracks I've been to. And so just to like knock some tracks down, just so Alex, for frame of reference, it's not a bragging list. This is catching you up to speed. We did Austin was our very first one, and we did that for a couple of years. Zandvoort, Amsterdam, Monza, Silverstone, Barcelona, Austria, Miami, Vegas. I would still put Miami at the smoothest, most well-coordinated race experience of anything, of all of those. Wow. Everything top to bottom, the logistics in and out, food and beverage vendors, you were not waiting in copious amounts of lines anywhere you went. Everything was thought of top to bottom, no matter where you went on track. And on Sunday, my husband and I, every day we did the grandstand pass where we did a campus pass, had 3 different grandstands at different days. every day we went and explored. But like the fact that they have the Hard Rock Stadium right in the middle, it has air conditioning, you can go in any ticket. You can go into that stadium at any point in time, and the paddocks are right there in the middle. Air conditioning, they've got little bars all around, TVs all around, but then all the stuff out at the track, all the little pop-up spots, every part of that street circuit, they have really thought of everything. So for me, in terms of bang for your buck, Miami is an absolute winner, because even like I think our campus passes were like $600 a ticket, which sounds like a lot for a ticket, and it is, don't get me wrong, but grandstands at Coda are $3,000 plus. So, there's just a lot there, a lot of value. The campus pass was the way to do it, because you got to see different parts of the track. And now I know which ones I would actually do again. I would do Marina grandstands again. Absolutely. No question in my mind. I would do the final turn. We did that on Friday. I would do that again. I would not do main grandstand again. We did that on Saturday. All you can see is the start. So we got to see the sprint race, and we got to see the crash, and then you see nothing. So I wouldn't do main grandstands at all if I was at Miami again. So I think it has an incredible atmosphere. I think the drivers really, really loved it. We got to see the Lego parade, which was absolutely incredible. Huge fan of that. But I just think like Miami has a lot to offer fans in terms of entertainment, in terms of, especially because most people are traveling to it. You're going to have something to do in the city. You're going to have stuff to do at the track. Everything is well coordinated. So it's a bang up job for me. Any initial thoughts on Miami before I get into a little ChatGPT track talk? Any initial, like, I love this, I hate this, it's not for me, that you guys have?
Yeah, I got something.
Bring it.
For
Bring
me,
it, big dog.
I mean, this is for me real quick before Alex gets into it. This is the first track where this is the first race of the year where really all teams bring big upgrade packages. So it's exciting to see what's going to happen. Ferrari keeps talking about they're going to bring a big package. So, I'm hopeful.
Oh, Ferrari's going to bring a big package, Paul.
Whoa there. No Diddy. No Diddy.
This podcast is getting banned by every social media platform. And
they're going to love it.
Speaking of Diddy would have loved a good Lego set, and you mentioned Legos. We brought up Legos earlier. How much do you guys think we need another Legos race this year at Miami?
Well, here's my thing is, how do they top it from last year? It was such an iconic thing, and it was so much fun. Like, we're still seeing videos to this day. It's like, how do you top that?
Y'all, I can't even begin to describe it, because we didn't even know it was happening yet, because we were out. Joe, my husband, sweet man, he went out, and I met up with 2 other content creators. I met up with a bunch of other content creators on Saturday just to like meet people. I was like, I've never done this. Let me come meet some people. And then met a couple of girls, ended up like really connecting with them. We met up again on Sunday, and Joe was like, okay, I'm going to go scout. I'm going to go look at places for y'all to film videos. And I was like, oh my God, content king, look at you go. Well, we are standing there, and all of a sudden Joe's like, holy shit, turn around. And then all the drivers are coming by 4 feet behind us in the Lego parade. It was absolute mayhem. And we were like, oh my God. I was going to try to find the video. Yeah.
But Alex, what are your thoughts on? What are you looking forward to?
I could not agree more. Oh, that looks phenomenal.
It was insane.
But I could not agree more with your take, or how do you top it off, right? Or how do you top that, right? How do you go above and beyond? Well, I don't think you can. But I don't think we need. I don't think we need them to
this year.
I don't think we need them to, because that was so good last year. So they don't need to top it off. They just need to do the same thing. So this is what I would say. Give me another Lego car race. Make the Lego cars look like this year's version of the cars, and let them have at it. If anything, I would just add a little bit more juice to those batteries, right? So against the new regulations, right? Give them some more juice, and then let them go and televise it. Put it all. Make sure, I want to see all of it. I want you to give me the main narrator for the F1 races. I forget my man's name, but he does a phenomenal job. But put him on, and yeah, let us watch it, because it was pure cinema, and I think we need that again. And I think
they had so much fun doing it too. Like, what a way to tee up race day, to have the drivers have so much fun.
The world needs this. We need just unity with Legos. And who doesn't love Legos? Everyone can track their childhood to a good Lego set. The world needs this.
I could not agree more with you. Yeah, the world needs.
Go ahead. Track action, what are you looking forward to? What do you think is going to happen? Let's get your predictions on the Miami Grand Prix. And try
We're
not to
going
die in the
straight into
process.
predictions.
Yeah, let's send it.
Let's
Okay,
get.
let's send it.
I mean, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this. I love it. So last year was Lando. The year before that was Oscar, or maybe it was backwards. Maybe
Last year was
last
Oscar. Year before that was Lando. Yeah.
Okay, there you go. So McLaren is notoriously fast. Before that, it was Max twice in a row. So given that it's been a McLaren and Red Bull show, and given the 50% upgrades that Ferrari's bringing, I don't want to go out on a limb and give any one of those a bigger position than what they deserve, given that we have such a small sample size on these new regulations.
Agreed.
So in no particular order, let me give you guys
Wait,
in horse racing.
In particular order. So how we usually do our prediction is podium. So we do a 1, 2, 3 and a shocker. So you can give some general, but I'd love to hear your podium and your shocker.
Okay. So in horse racing, there's a thing that's called to place. And it just means that they're going to be top 3. So I think Ferrari's going to podium. I think probably Leclerc versus Hamilton. I think it'll be Leclerc. I think McLaren bringing upgrades is going to podium. And I think it's very hard to argue against Mercedes having those rocket ships. And if someone's going to win, it's going to be the most informed driver this year. So give me Kimi. Give me Kimi to win it all, and give me a Ferrari and McLaren podium.
No,
give me that.
Give us drivers. Who's 2 and 3?
Okay, so we got Kimi. So Alex has Kimi winning.
Kimi winning. Give me Leclerc at 2, and give me Oscar at 3.
So Kimi, Charles, and who's the third one?
Oscar.
All right, now give us a shocker prediction. What do you?
Shocker.
Just a shocker off the hinges.
Crazy.
If I had one shocker, let me think. Man, something that would really sit good in my gut would be Carlos Sainz getting another victory. I think I would love a Carlos Sainz victory. He's still the last driver to have won since the last Ferrari winner. So give me a Carlos Sainz win. I'll take that.
You're counteracting your podium here.
I know. But you guys wanted a shocker, so there's
love it. I do. I love that so much. I do. I can't wait. Paul, what do you got? Give me yours.
Before you do that, can we update our 6 fans that we have on the point structure that we have? How many, what are the points?
We have more than 6 fans, Paul. You be nice.
7.
You got
6, 7.
Only fans here. Get it? There's a fans joke.
Meredith,
okay.
You're the only one that didn't do 6, 7.
Sorry, I'm not juggling balls on air, on recording. Thank you.
I like how you made the distinction of on air, so thank you for that.
For the record, okay, so after Japan, Josh has 4, and Paul and I have 2 points.
Okay.
This is the most unhinged podcast we've ever done.
You're welcome.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Okay, so since Josh is in the lead, I will share Josh's prediction. Josh also has Kimi winning, Alex, so he is in alignment with you. And then he has George in second and Charles in third. And then his shocker prediction is that a McLaren will be in the top 5. Paul, what do you have?
All right, I have Oscar in first, Lewis in second, and Kimi in third.
Oh, that's very similar to mine, just some positions moved around.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I have Vicar, Williams, and Alpine, but all 3 are going to finish in the points. We just need 1 car in the points, but all those 3 are going to finish.
God, you're fucking living on a prayer. I love this for you.
I mean, living on a prayer. Look at that guy. He's picked Carlos Sainz to win it all.
You know, that's his shocker prediction.
I don't think that's that far-fetched. The guy is beyond talented. It just sucks that he's get a terrible vehicle.
He's got a dud of a car.
Oh my God, it's in his 2025 car.
And here's a question that has to be asked: is how much of a leash does James Vowles get? Because for the last handful of years, it was, I don't care about 23, I don't care about 24, I don't care about 25. All the money and all the effort is going to 26 car, and they come out with an overweight dud. And
I just like, know.
I think you got to look. I think you got to look at the bigger picture, though, because 2 years ago they were 9th. Last year they were 5th. Did I get that right in the constructors?
And what are they this year?
Well, they're only 4 races deep, so it's a little early.
Okay,
Paul,
I get it.
They will buy an Etsy witch on you if you speak ill of James Vowles. Okay.
Call Leah right now. Put her on speakerphone. I don't care.
Wait, was that an Etsy witch? Is that what you said?
An Etsy witch, yeah.
You can get witches on Etsy?
1,000%.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
1000%.
Drop the link down below. 10% off Etsy
10%
Wishes.
off
You guys
using
heard it here
code
first.
Apex Podcast.
Use discount code Apex F1 Podcast. Get your witch on.
Get your witch on.
Meredith, what are your predictions?
My predictions coming off the break, I think George is going to be hungry. So I think George is going to win. Oscar loves this track and he's super familiar with it. So I think Oscar is going to get second and I have Charles in third. I think VCARB is going double points here. I think their car has looked incredible all season. I think that the 4 races they've raced in, there's only been one race that they were barely outside the points at 11 and 13. Other than that, they've been double points in it. So I'm like, okay, well, let's go, VCARB. I'm here for it. Liam and Arvid just seem like such a good lineup because I feel like they really push each other in a positive way. Whereas I felt like when Yuki was there, Yuki was like, old school. Yuki was like old school Red Bull driving academy, right? And I feel like both of them are new school, trying to earn their seats, really want to stay. Liam just wants to stay in the goddamn sport. Arvid is the future of the sport, and he's been driving incredibly well. So I'm going VCARB double points. I think they've got it. I think the car's been dialed in, and I think they can do it. I will say, though, my podium was challenging to predict because this is the first time I have not had Lando on any bingo card of ours in so long. And I hate that, being a Lando fan. But I just feel like Oscar has it this season the first 2 races, obviously. But I feel like Oscar has the it factor. I can't put my finger on it, but Oscar has the it factor. I am a Lando fan, love Lando, but Oscar has the it factor for me this season. So I am pained to not put Lando in there. That's my podium.
I can't wait. We've been without F1 for so long. It needs to come back.
I'm so excited for my brother-in-law and his partner to come in next weekend. I'm so excited to see them. And I'm also so grateful for them booking an early flight home on Sunday morning so that I get to do all the F1. And if I look on Saturday night and there are cheap tickets and a cheap flight, my ass might be going to Miami on Sunday.
Done. The Apex Podcast is going to send Meredith as correspondent to the Miami Grand Prix.
It's a tax write-off.
That's how much I liked Miami. I would literally fly my ass there Sunday and fly my ass back Sunday night. That's how much I love it. What do you got? A little light up fidget spinner?
Little fidget spinner.
Looks like a,
throwing star.
Ninja star.
Hey, yes. I'm a dangerous man. All right. Anything else on F1?
No, let's get to Talladega, for the love of God.
Let's get to Talladega.
Bring the people what they want.
Alex.
What's up?
Talladega. Take it away.
Man, how lucky are we with this year's NASCAR race? Or NASCAR, how lucky are we with this year's NASCAR season? I feel like it's been freaking phenomenal. Everybody went in here thinking the Talladega and the Toyotas were going to put on another show. And much to everybody's surprise is the Chevys were doing phenomenal at this race.
Chevys killed it.
Barring the big one, as the announcers like to call it, right? Barring the big one, we had a ton of phenomenal racing going on. A ton of it. I'm a Team Trackhouse guy, and seeing Chastain and seeing SVG doing somewhat well through the second stage was very, very decent for me. I had high hopes. I had very high hopes. I was like, we might do well here, right? And, the big one knocked out Zilich. Shout out to Zilich, right? And
love me some Zilich.
And then SVG had his issues with that, crash, right before the ending of the race. But that being said, Hurricane Hocevar, he was due for he's 23 years old. He was due for his first NASCAR win. He put on a freaking show, celebrated in a way that only he can do it. And, when we're done filming this, I'm going to Chili's to celebrate along with him. I'm going to get me a triple dipper and a Marg.
We literally talked about that.
I was not leaving at 5 a.m. tomorrow. The race was finishing. I actually have it on video where I was asking my husband, I was videoing my celebration because it was the last. I was and then I'm already cooking, making guacamole and salsas on the stove. It's I'm making taco night here. And I'm like, fuck it. Do we need to go to Chili's? And Joe literally leans up from the recliner and he goes, to Chili's? And I was like, if I didn't have a 5 a.m. flight, I would.
Well,
Dude,
I feel
I literally texted my buddy after the race finished, and I said, "Dude, let's go to Chili's for dinner tonight."
I might be meeting up with a few buddies out there to sit at the bar and get a triple dipper and some drinks.
Get a triple dipper and a Presidente. But what is on your triple dipper?
I'm going to have to go with the chicken crispers. I'm going to have to go with the sliders. And I think I'd finish with the cheese sticks.
Fucking no Southwestern egg rolls. Get out of here. You're grounded. Go back.
If I want egg rolls, I'm going to the mall. I'm getting the Chinese place from there.
No,
there might be turtle meat in them, but I mean, good is good. What do I know? You know,
corn, Monterey Jack, loving. Ooh, I love it.
We're doing the cheese sticks, the spicy ones.
This is completely going over my head because I have not set foot in the Chili's.
He needs to go.
In
I was
close to
telling
a
him that
decade.
Aaron and Leah and Joe.
No way,
and
close to a decade. Wait, and you're telling me that the deciding factor was today's NASCAR race? Tell me marketing doesn't work.
Yeah,
Marketing.
exactly.
Marketing.
Literally, Joe goes, "Is that the Chili's man?" And I'm like, "Yup, the Michelin man has become the Chili's man."
Yeah, I'm going to the front of the house, whatever 16-year-old girl's in front of there, and I'm telling her, Carson Hocevar brought me here. And then when she looks at me like, what the hell are you talking about? I'm going to be like, yes. Yeah, I know. She's going to be like, what the hell are you talking about?
So listen, Alex.
I'd like 77% off for Carson Hocevar. That's using hashtag Carson Hocevar 77% off.
And I might show up in the Sabrina Carpenter shirt.
Do it. His Sabrina Carpenter shirt he wore for interviews the other day was so fucking incredible.
I love that.
I'm like, I love you so much. Like, all he wants to do is race and be a badass and have fun. And like, he genuinely seems like he's having so much fun doing it. And it genuinely seems like it's pissing the other drivers off so much how much fun he's having.
So this is my first year of watching NASCAR. It was my goal this year to get into NASCAR and learn about it. I have thoroughly enjoyed it. I've decided naturally 2311 is my team. Also, I really love Danny Hamlin. So the Toyota, I'm a big Toyota guy.
First?
What's that?
Did you say Danny first?
I said Danny. I'm sorry. Danny?
Forgive you.
I apologize. So I've thoroughly enjoyed it this year.
You're already Texas. Danny Hamlin.
So yes, today's race was a lot of fun. That wreck, man, whew.
26 cars involved in a wreck. Like 26 cars get in a wreck, 12 cars don't come out of it.
But also, like a replica of Daytona, where Tyler Reddick does some passes, and in the last lap of Daytona, as the checker flags going on, everybody behind him just an amalgamation of a giant crash. There's just vehicles everywhere. I'm pretty sure it was either Logano or Larson. I forget who it was. But one of those guys finished backwards. He was going backwards across the
finish line. That was Daniel Suarez coming into the pits. I was like, fuck yeah, Daniel Suarez, get it.
So the fact that you chose this season to start your season to watch NASCAR is phenomenal because
agreed.
It's probably the best racing we've had in NASCAR in quite some time.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I've thoroughly enjoyed it. It's been a lot of fun.
When you went to go find your Ricola, that's what I was telling Paul, was like, there are monumental races that just like every person remembers. Every person will remember Carson Hocevar's first NASCAR win at Talladega. Everyone will remember this win. And that crash created the opportunity for him to have this win. But I'm like, I told Paul, I feel like I've been going on this like campaign to try to get more people into NASCAR and trying to convince them that it's not a lesser motorsport, that it's absolutely fucking insane and it's so exciting. And it's like 4 hours of me being on the edge of my seat, but also being able to be like, let me go do some chores and come back. And it's like a totally different race. I feel like today's race is now a benchmark for me with NASCAR that I needed to be able to tell other fans like, hey, go watch Talladega 2026 and tell me you don't like NASCAR. If you really like motorsport, if you really like F1 the way you say you like F1, if you really like IndyCar the way you say you like IndyCar, go watch Talladega 2026 and tell me you don't.
Right. And I feel like this is on the back of, NASCAR needing a new superstar, right? Like everyone can remember moments where certain drivers, certain teams, certain livery, or I can't say livery, right? The NASCAR fans don't like that. So my apologies. Certain paint
scheme or a wrap.
Or a wrap. Certain paid schemes are wrap. So I feel like Carson Hocevar is coming just at the right time with having his best race of the season or best race in his Cup Series, right? But this is a guy that won on, and earlier in the season at Atlanta when he was racing the trucks. I think it was Atlanta. So if I'm wrong, you guys let me know in the comments down below. But there was a race earlier in the season, and what he did was he was asking Kyle Busch if he wanted to shake and bake, because he didn't have somebody to help him out front, and they were both winning. And anyway, Kyle Busch ended up winning the race with Hocevar's help. But this is a
Love
guy
that.
who was asking. He's like, "Hey, well," he told his race engineer, "Hey, will you ask Busch if he wants to shake and bake?" And the announcers took a second to explain to the listeners, "Oh, that's a Talladega Nights reference." It's like, yeah, because we've never seen a Will Ferrell movie before. Thank you.
Thanks.
So yeah, I just couldn't be happier with him. And again, Team Trackhouse guys, right? But
Nobody could have predicted your Team Trackhouse with your Busch Light apple shirt. Nobody.
I wish I had a freaking Busch Light apple right now. But
You mean Busch Latte? A little Busch Latte.
and you know what? Sometimes I change my voice. Like when I go and I get a Coors, right? I'll intentionally go, yeah, and I go, "Can I get a Coors Light?"
Coors Light.
You just got to change it up a little bit. And if it's a Busch, it's the same thing. Let me get a Busch Light.
Yeah, Paul, this is very Texas. So just so you know, when you're in Texas, there are ways to say beers.
Imposter
I need a
syndrome.
Coors. I need a Coors. I need a Coors Light. I need a Miller. It's almost you almost add Y's to. I need a Miller. Or I need a Boo.
Hey, and if you really drink Coors Light like that, or Coors Light, if you really drink them, you ask for a Yellow Belly. You say, "Hey, let me get a Yellow Belly."
Let me get a Yellow
Coors
Belly.
Banquet? Isn't that
Banquet
that's Coors
beer.
Banquet?
Yeah.
No, God. Then you feel
What?
bloated.
They're so delicious. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about right now?
Give me the silver bullet. Give me just a regular Coors Light.
Well, you want your mountains blue, Paul?
Yes.
Okay, well, that does fit.
I hate this so much.
Hey, you know what,
Okay,
dude?
But honestly, I think NASCAR really needs Carson Hocevar, and hopefully they run away with it, because in the last few years, it's been a lull with NASCAR. The ratings have dipped, and as a new NASCAR fan, I've really tried to catch up on some stuff. It's not the NASCAR of the '90s or the early 2000s with Jeff Gordon and all those guys that really brought it to a pinnacle that where it was. So I'm hoping that they can run away with this kid and really bring it to where it honestly belongs in the American motorsports, ranking system.
Well, dude, I feel like you can tell a lot by the sponsors that are in the sport. So Tyler Reddick, having won 5 out of the first 10 races, today had a new sponsor in Rockstar Energy Drink, right? So
And they were media advertised like a motherfucker.
Heavy as hell. But look, if you're doing so well that Rockstar wants to jump back in, considering their fights with Monster and Red Bull and Celsius, and I mean the energy drink market is super hyper competitive. And if Rockstar's trying to jump in because they're trying to capitalize on the Tyler Reddick train, the sport's doing well.
Agreed. Well, and I think you mentioned the paint schemes, and like to date, when I think since I started watching NASCAR, I'm only a couple of seasons into getting into NASCAR. I feel like when I think about standout paint schemes, like the ones that come to mind for me are Ryan Blaney Menard's neon yellow every time. Like that one, the Chumba Casino, done.
Yeah.
Love the Chumba Casino. Like the Red Bull team for like Red Bull with Trackhouse, like whether it's SVG, Connor Zillich, like those stand out to me. Everything else, and Ross Chastain, I love Ross's when he does the Busch Light one. Love that. I love it when it's in the blue. I love it when it's in the camo. Like excellent. The Bass Pro Shops, those are the paint schemes that jump out at me. So I feel like Monster has had kind of like the corner of the market for motorsport lately because of Lando, and then for a while he's been with Ty Gibbs, and then I just feel like this is the perfect time for Rockstar to be jumping back in. And now they have Tyler Reddick, who's on a heater, arguably the best start to the season. Like this is insane. I was hoping for a good 23-11 outcome with Bubba being in 4th and Tyler Reddick in 1st starting off today, but it is what it is. That wreck happened. Watching that big crash start to happen, what do y'all think was the cause? Because I think it's really easy to say Bubba Wallace got a little loose.
It wasn't that. It was all that bumping that was behind him that made him go loose, right? But also, I'm a new fan, so forgive me for
that's why I asked. What's your take on it?
Well, streaming and trying to catch a pull from the guy in front of you, and trying to get a good run is big on these fast tracks. I mean, it's humongous. It's big. And if you, for whatever reason,
It's like 2.6 miles, this
It's the
track.
longest track in the NASCAR schedule. So if you are, well, circular track, I think, because I think Coda and Watkins Glen might be long, but
Yeah. Watkins
don't
Glen
quote
is
me
a
on that.
little short. I think Watkins Glen is like 2.5.
So it's a little bit shorter.
Yeah, slightly. I know Watkins Glen is slightly shorter than Talladega.
Which, by the way, I can't wait. Zilich is doing 3 races on that weekend.
It's going to be insane. Are you
Oh, it's going to
going?
be phenomenal. But yeah, I just think it was a case of the car being a little tight. I think him stepping out a little bit outside of the stream, getting loose and not being able to handle it right off the bat. And, I mean, hats off to him. He's done a phenomenal job all year. You know, I'm not surprised, and I'm not super taken back at the fact that how tight the field was and how much Bubba tried to keep it where he could. But ultimately, it was always going to end up with that result. So the fact that there was a big one at this Talladega, I mean, it is what it is. It made for good watching, but I feel bad for 2311 because, yeah, Bubba had the opportunity to win this one.
I love Bubba Wallace so much. I'm like, oh,
He's
it just
really
like
had a bad start to the year because he's had a couple DNFs. He's been close right there.
I'm worried for
I
him.
really thought going into this weekend that this was going to be the weekend where everything was going to turn around for him. I really thought 2311 was going to back him 100% and give it all to him to win it.
I thought so too, but I think Bubba has had a couple of unfortunate series of events. I mean, like there's this other girl that she and I message on Instagram, and we're both Bubba Wallace fans, and it's like, it's like like the second anything happens, we're messaging each other. We're like, no, and it's like, it's one of those things that is like, it makes me crazy because there's so many factors out of their control, when we get a big pile up with like situations like this, but then like this was one where it was like, yes, he got bumped, but I think he also was already a little loose up there. And if he had been driving solid and was tight, a bump behind him wouldn't have mattered because the other guy was getting bumped too. Like it's just one of those unfortunate series of events. And I think Bubba Wallace has to have some race wins this season. I think he has to have some stage wins because otherwise I do think maybe potentially his seat is in contention. And I hate that because I really love Bubba Wallace. So I'm like, I just need him to get back on track. Wherever it is, whatever weekend, I was hoping it was this weekend. I need him to get back on track.
Yeah. Nonetheless, it was an amazing weekend amazing Sunday for NASCAR. I had a great time and can't wait for Texas next weekend.
I can't believe you haven't mentioned Cletus McFarland, Paul.
That was my exact thought right now.
Like, I'm like, how are we also not talking about Cletus?
He almost won his what is it? Was it his first ARCA race or his second ARCA? I don't remember.
No, this is his second, maybe second ARCA race for sure. He is such a personality, and I know I've seen.
You watched his YouTube series?
No.
You should. You
need to watch it. It's so
I know
good.
that there's been some backlash about him with, like, let's call them gatekeepers, because a lot of people think he didn't deserve that spot in ARCA and they only gave it to him based on the personality. But
look at what he did.
No, but as a whole, this is what NASCAR needs. They need this personality to draw the eyes of the casual user, because that interview last year that he did was legendary. I was a soaring eagle, or whatever he said. That was legendary, and that's what made him a household name. And it had to have been a no-brainer to give him a seat in ARCA. And now, who would have watched ARCA last year? Can anybody tell me who another driver is in the ARCA series? I can't, but I can
go down and grab my NASCAR magazine and tell you, but other than that, no.
But honestly, we know now Cletus McFarland is a badass, and he's got the skills to back it up. He might not be at the top of every lineup, but he is a solid driver and a personality to back it. Even while he's driving, you hear him talking on the radio, and it's still him. That's what NASCAR needs.
Well, look, dude, I completely agree with you, right? And, we'll find points where I don't agree with you, like we did with Bristol earlier, and both y'all were like, oh my God, Bristol. But anyways, all that to say, let me break it down to you guys like this. I was having a few garage beers with some buddies the other night, and we were talking just about this, right? And I think that the gatekeepers are so upset, and they're like, well, he's a YouTuber, and, he just got fast-tracked, right? And they're allowing him to do stuff that a normal person would have to earn their way in, right? Well, you got to remember, earning your way in is a two-way street, right? If they give you this opportunity and you don't deserve the opportunity, it's real clear for you to show that you're out of your element and you don't deserve to be there. So just as quickly as it was given to you, it would be taken away from you. And Cletus has gone the opposite way of that. So not only has he shown and proven that he belongs there, right? He's starting to excel, right? And I
Agreed.
think it's a big jump to ask for somebody who was just a YouTuber, who wasn't doing this last year, to ask them to come into a NASCAR sanctioned event and say, hey, I know these are your first 5 races or first 6 races in the NASCAR series. I need you to do well or you don't belong. It's like, wait, hold on, my guy. There's guys out there like Hosobar right now, who's season 3, who's just getting his first win right now. Imagine if you had held him to that standard, right? What would have happened? So
It's
it's
an
like,
unattainable standard, and it's not fair that that's the standard of entry because 90% of the grid didn't have that standard of entry, and it's bullshit.
that's exactly right. That's exactly right. But now that we're seeing him kind of turn the page, and I don't know if I would have said this last week, but now that we're seeing him kind of turn the page now, and I know it's only ARCA series, I know it wasn't the Truck series, I know it wasn't the Riley's, I know it wasn't anything. I still think you give him his props and you go, you weren't doing this last year, you're doing it now, and you almost freaking won. You almost won. So, yeah, I'm curious to see where the rest of his career goes, and I'm hoping the best for him.
And you know what?
Absolutely.
It's the most fun he's ever had with his clothes on.
I love that. I love that. When
I
you said
love
that, I
it
died
so
laughing. I
much.
was like, and that's going to get clipped.
I love it so much. And like him and Marshawn Lynch driving around on the coolers, I'm like, I love this man. He's so good. I also feel like this may be controversial, may not be. I don't know. I think Kyle Larson thought he was going to be that personality for NASCAR. I think he came on, he talked a big game, and I'm better than Max Verstappen. I'm better than an F1 driver. I feel like Kyle Larson was trying to play that role these last few years, but at the end of the day, like he's just a good dude. He's just a good dude with a family. And Kyle, you're not that guy. Like you're a great driver, but you're not that guy. And I feel like we've needed these personas to make NASCAR relevant again to a certain mainstream media. And I feel like we're getting that. And the other drivers are all of a sudden like, wait, fuck, what? Look at the sponsors he's getting, Like, and I love it because I think when when any drivers compare a new young driver to the likes of a legend, you have to take note.
I just think there's a
Yeah,
I think there's a difference between NASCAR forcing somebody down your throat and somebody just naturally coming to their own and
agreed.
being that face. And I think that's who Carson Hocevar is. He naturally is that personality. That's who Cletus McFarlane is. And you either
It
have to
sounds
run
like a
with
made up NASCAR name. If Talladega Nights could redo a movie with a character, I think his name would be Cletus McFarland.
absolutely. And I think it's just natural. And I think people get drawn to that this is who he is. And it's not, it's not posh. It's not made by the structure and forced down your throat. And that's what people are attracted to.
Agreed. I think people are attracted to NASCAR because it is real, it is authentic, people want to be themselves. And I think the more they tried to manufacture NASCAR media into other things, the more it became something that people were like, meh, this isn't for me.
It's not polished. It's not posh. If you want that, you go watch F1. And I'm a big
And that's
F1 fan,
fine.
as you can tell, wearing the stuff. Nothing wrong with that. But that's not
I'm
why
going to
I
ask
tune into
questions about that,
NASCAR.
but we'll save that.
What's wrong with the shirt?
Dude, if there was
You
ever a
hate,
year, for you to wear that, it's this year. So,
you hate Mercedes, you hate Karen George. What, like, was it on sale?
It was.
Okay.
hey,
I
you know
also
what?
have it. I
Go
also
ahead,
have
go
an
ahead.
Alpine sweater and a Red Bull sweater, and like I'm just all over the place. I am confused.
And we're okay with that. We accept
I'm
all
not
fans here.
confused,
I do love the hat though. I saw the rope style hat. I collect that the
Yeah,
second we got
and it
but
and it you can't see it, but I got autographs on it.
oh,
it. Did you give them our sticker, Paul?
I did not give him our sticker,
dang, you
but
guys have stickers. You guys are ahead of me.
we have stickers, we have koozies, we have hoodies.
Dang, I need to get on the program.
Get with it. We love merch. Look, like literally all we wear is motorsport merch. When I
All I
am
wear is
forced,
motorsport merch as well, and I also have some random Alpine and some random Williams and some random V carb. I have all the teams.
are you showing us your
Hey,
award titties?
Yeah,
Censor. Showing us your award titties.
that's awesome. Was that the first flash on the Apex F1 podcast?
it was, and not the last.
And not the last. But that's the first flash you guys got to hear first. Like and sub. Like and sub.
Alex made me do it. Alex made me do it. Hey,
Like
but
and
Alex
listen,
sub
on
for
track,
more
more like
flashes.
Alex on tatas.
hey,
That's
but
right.
listen,
That's
this
right.
goes without saying, but we are recording an episode next Sunday after the Miami race. If you're free, Alex, feel free to tag on in, man.
Not only will I be free, but also be less sick. Well, hold on. Let me rephrase that. I've always been called a little bit of a sick puppy, so I'll keep that. But I'll be
Why are you a sick puppy?
healthier, if you will. Huh?
Why are you a sick puppy?
I've been down to the bone since I remember, you know?
I
You
fell
fell right
right
into
into
that,
that.
Meredith. I'm sorry.
I fell right into that.
Meredith, just wrap it up for the day. This one's gone off the rails.
I
And
love
on
it.
that
I'm having a
note,
blast.
how do we top that? Alex, it has been an absolute treat to have you on. You are so fun, so incredible to collab with you. What a fun episode. I'm actually so glad that we did NASCAR last because it's something we're clearly also fired up about right now. So I feel like it was the perfect way to end. Are there any other closing thoughts that you have, Alex? Any other closing things that are like, I must say this?
Yeah, I just want to say my piece about Connor Zillage. So let
Say
me say
it.
this to all the Team Trackhouse haters and all the Connor Zillage haters. Let me say this. At the O'Reilly series last week, Connor Zillage was given a capable car. And because of that, he ended up trading paint with Kyle Larson and beat him in the O'Reilly series. He then went on to race in NASCAR. He was not given a capable car, and he finished in the 20s. So all I want to say is if Team Trackhouse gives Connor Zillage a capable car, he will trade paint with the likes of Kyle Larson and everybody in the front. But because he hasn't been given a capable car, we're seeing what we're seeing. And I think outside of Chastain finishing in 7th today, I think we've seen Trackhouse kind of put out stinkers the whole year. So that being said, Team Trackhouse, help me out. I'm a big fan. Let's put out
Agreed.
capable vehicles for all the drivers, please.
Team Trackhouse, if you are listening, we agree, we second this. Give Zillage what the man deserves. He may be fresh in Cup Series, but he is not novice. Give this man what he deserves.
Yep. And he put out a video earlier this week where his favorite snack was a Takis. So as a fellow spicy
purple bag?
snack, the
Purple bag or blue bag?
Yep. The fellow spicy snack connoisseur, I'm there with the Takis. So let's do it. By the way, how far away are we from a Takis paint scheme? Because I feel like we need one. We're due for one.
And if
Well, if
anybody gets
Trackhouse
it-
would give him the car he deserves and a sponsorship opportunity, Zillage and Takis, right now.
or can we give it to Daniel Suarez? I think we need more Mexican, just straight to the top. Give it to him.
I'm down for that too. But I will be honest, as a former educator, I was absolutely fueled by sugar-free Red Bull and Takis. That's it. That's literally what I lived on. Literally what I lived on as a teacher. It was like I knew I wasn't going to have time for lunch, but I knew I could pick up some sugar-free Red Bulls, and I knew all my kids were going to have Takis, and I would trade them Takis for oranges and stuff like that. Like, hey, give me the pickle from your lunch
All right.
tray.
Next Sunday, the three of us, since we're all going to record next Sunday,
Takis.
we're eating Takis while we
Let's
record.
do it. I'm super down.
Done.
AMSMR that
I am-
motherfucker. Yeah.
Oh, ready for this stomach ache, but I need y'all to know I'm bringing loaded Takis. I'm not bringing fresh open bag.
Hey, in
okay?
Mexico, they do this thing where they grab these, I think they're called Dorilocos, and they grab these
Yes.
Doritos and they put like meat and cheese on them and crema and all sorts of stuff. And my goodness, that stuff looks good.
Okay.
Alex,
I
I'm
will-
gonna
I will
have
tell
to
you
get
my
your
little
number, and I'm gonna just bombard you with all the food I eat in a couple weeks.
Yes, please. Send them all to me.
Done.
Yes, please. In a nice Coors Light.
And a Coors Light and a Yellow Belly, please. Let me get a Coors
Hey,
Light.
everybody show up next week with some Takis, a nice Coors Light, and a little Yellow Belly. Okay?
Hey, Meredith, I'm very impressed. You're a natural with that.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm from West Texas. I can Yellow
What
Belly.
part of West Texas? I used to live in Pecos.
Oh my God, well, it's not real Pecos. It's Lubbock. I'm from Lubbock. We just say
You're
West
way
Texas.
over there. You're
We're
way over there.
Panhandle. You know, Panhandle.
On Wisconsin.
Badgers. I don't have a Texas Tech tattoo though, unlike you, Paul.
You don't
'Cause I
have
went
I
to
feel like I need to get a college tattoo now, too.
You don't? I promise you don't.
I have a ton of them, just not that.
Don't do it. I would recommend don't get A&M Corpus Christi right there. Like it's
If
not.
there is a tattoo I would get, it would be the Apex F1 podcast tattoo. I'll get that all day.
Oh my God, yeah. Us two.
You
Us two.
okay, listen. If we ever Okay, I'm telling you this right now, and I'm a man of my
Paul
word.
just got a hard on.
If we ever meet in person, I will personally pay for it if you get it on you.
Well, there's more to that. Okay, so
The
number one, you
logo
pay
is
for it.
pretty dope,
You pay
though.
for it, and I'm game. If you pay for it, I'm game. But the second criteria to that is this episode has to get 10,000 likes. Let's get 10,000 likes. You pay for it. I'll get the tattoo. Let's do it.
If we get 10,000 likes on this episode, not only will I pay for it, I will get one myself.
Same.
Let's do it.
The three
Done.
of us will do it. The three of us will do it. I'll pay for it if we can get 10,000 likes on this.
Let's do it. I'm down.
Sky's the limit.
I already have an IndyCar on my forearm. We'll just add to it.
Sure does. He sure does.
I feel like I need to get an F1 tattoo now. Everybody has motorsports tattoos except me.
Hey,
I don't,
listen,
but I know what I want, and I'm very particular about it.
What do you want?
I am getting. Hang on.
I want a fine line tattoo of the SF.
What that is?
It's a Ferrari SF23. I want an SF23 fine line tattoo right on the back.
Paul, what about you?
What about me?
I don't know. You said you were going to get something?
I am getting a motorsports themed tattoo in Mexico City. I have an appointment. I've put the deposit down.
What are you getting, Paul? This is
Whoa.
news to me.
No,
This
I am
is
not.
hot goss.
I am not telling you guys what it is. I have the appointment.
Oh my God, is it George? Oh my God, you're getting George's jawline tattooed. Handsome
I
Slim.
would love it if it was a Zach Brown quote and it said, "Is this the world champion hotline?" Like, you should get that 100%.
Okay, but I do unashamedly have a sick fucking t-shirt design that I want to do with that quote, and I think I have to do it.
I'm getting the silhouette of George on my chest, just right here.
Just him doing
You don't-
the
you don't
arms
like
wide
that-
open.
you don't-
No, put it right here and call it your George muscle.
You
Just
know,
like
Danny-
flex on him.
you-
I'm flexing
you know-
my George on him.
You know how Danny Trejo has that girl tattooed on his chest? I'm gonna have George tattooed on my chest. But no,
Dude,
seriously.
I love you. You are not at the level of Danny Trejo in terms of legend. I just wanted Danny Trejo is like,
Dude, I want to get the Toto Wolff a smirk after, what was it, P3 out of the first race. Yeah, that little, yep. You know what I'm talking about. Let me get the Toto Wolff smirk after he revealed to the world that he had built absolute freaking rockets this year.
honestly, I don't even need his face. I just want the hairline and the headband. I just want the hairline with the microphone and the headband like pushed back, just, you know?
I was watching it live when he's like this, and I was like, oh my, yeah. And sure enough, I saw on Twitter, one guy said, that man knows he built a rocket ship. I was like, yeah.
Have we confirmed whether or not Susie is pregnant after that? I haven't seen her much, you know? It's
I don't
worth
know.
asking.
Yeah,
She
it
could
is
be
worth
first
asking.
trimester.
Yeah.
That was
I mean,
magic.
if there's ever a moment that he was going to get her super preggers, it's going to be then. So,
But yes, I am getting a motorsports theme right here. On my
what is
arm.
it?
I'm not telling you guys.
Tell us.
Look,
No,
how about you don't tell us, but give us a few clues and let the viewers and the listeners comment down below. Whoever gets it right gets a special
Yeah.
prize.
I am getting something inspired by the driver that got me into motorsports.
Enjoy your
Oh.
Checo flag tattoo.
Okay, it was not Checo, stupid. But yes, I'm not.
Is there another clue that we can get?
3 clues. Okay, that was 1. Give 2. And then 3. Micro clues.
No, but if I give
Blues
you
Clues.
I'm gonna give it away.
I'm Steve with my note.
I just the
Handy
theme is
dandy
gonna be,
notebook.
I'm gonna do a motorsports themed tattoo on my arm, and it is inspired by the driver that got me into motorsports in 2021.
Daniel Ricciardo butterfly quote.
Oh my God.
This is real sweat. I'm a high performance athlete.
I'm not going to lie. I did think about getting a butterfly tattoo.
But yes,
Man.
stay tuned for that. The deposit is in. I'm getting it on Saturday, May 16th at 10 in the morning. As soon as they open, I'm sitting down.
Oh, a week
and I'm
before my
getting it.
birthday. Thank you. It's of me. Thank you.
Oh, look at that.
So
That
stay
being
tuned
said,
for
if
that.
I was getting a quote tattoo, I would also get a Daniel Ricciardo quote, but I'd get probably Nico Hülkenberg. I would get
Hülkenberg.
that. Or Pierre Gasly, or however he does. I can't do the Gasly ones too. It requires too much, but I can do the Hülkenberg.
Yeah.
There it is. There it is.
Yo,
We
just
missed Daniel
wrap this
Ricciardo.
Ah.
We missed Daniel Ricciardo. We miss you.
Miss you, Danny Rick. Gone but not forgotten.
Never.
Okay, well, on that note, I think we should put a wrap on it. Everybody, enjoy the butterflies. Carson Hocevar, enjoy your Chili's triple dipper. We know we will. Alex, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We cannot wait to have you on next week for Miami if you're free to record. I know we have a big week ahead of you this week. We're going to have an awesome week, and stay tuned, everybody. We will post soon. And as always, like, subscribe, engage with us, follow Alex on Track on all his socials, Instagram, TikTok. He's both Alex on Track on Instagram, Alex on Track 35. Follow him on YouTube as well. He is one of the best in the biz, and we are so lucky to have him on today. So we will see you all soon. Thank you again. Bye, everybody.